We need to give an update to Bob on what's going on with Acropolis. So, the Acropolis Autonomous Trader is making transactions on the options market, and here we're looking at it inside our simulator. In early November, we started our portfolio out with $1,000, and we limited so that the system can only trade or invest up to $850 per day. So from November to December to January to going up almost to March 1st here, we've made $700 profit and loss. This is before tax, but if you consider we put $1,000 in November, and by March we have $700, that's a 70% return over 4 or 5 months. So this is nice, cumulative. So we scroll down here, what the system is doing. This is our trade report card. We see our date window from November 2nd to February 24th. Our total number of trades, 75 trades, 37 trading days. There are more days available to trade. We did not, because the system is trading very, very conservatively. We keep it conservative, we get consistent, happy growth. $75 trades, 37 trading days, average of 2 trades a day, and our total P&L is $698. We have the unique regimes. The software looks at the market activity and it tells us what direction or what the market sentiment is. Directional bull, sideways, high volatility, sideways, low volatility, volatility expansion expected. When we check the weather in the market, we figure out which of these strategies is going to best fit. So we're using iron condor, long call butterfly, and long put butterfly. There are dozens of strategies, but we start out with these 3 because we're keeping our work within a defined scope. Continue on through the report card. We have our regimes and the number of trades made in each regime. And one day we'll go through the report card in detail. In this regime, our 5 trades, we win 80% of the time, and the rate of return is 4%. Our average entry cost is $175. In this high volatility regime, we've made some trades, and here's our rate of return. We can slice it a different way, and we look at the regime with the strategy, the number of trades, the percent win rate, and the return rate. And this output we can feed back into the system so that we can improve our win rate or figure out which strategy is going to work the best. So our long put butterfly, it only wins 50% of the time. But it also has the highest rate of return. So these are the trade-offs, these are the constraints. And I did not understand these things as constraints, but we programmed them into the system so that the system respects these constraints, and we have 14% return, we win 80% of the time in 5 trades. Not that many trades. Here we have 64 iron condor trades. We win over 70% of the time, and we make better than the current interest rate. Not much, but we need these trades to soften the shocks. Now in this section here, we can look at the details of each trade. The open date, the close date, the ticker, the strategy, what the market was doing, and some other information that's important to the internal functioning of the system. The user never has to see this information. This is our portfolio performance report, and this is where it gets really good if you want to maintain these kinds of returns. How does it work? Here's our Acropolis user's manual. And Acropolis is built on Python and a database. And these are the steps that are run to make the sausage. We have to calculate the Greeks, and this is some high-end mathematics. But I want to show you the Greeks, so give me one moment. Okay, so we have to go in the trade window and go back to November 3rd. And now we want to load all the trades, and now it comes up to about $700. And it's a nice little interface, so we can see the numbers light up, how much money we've made. Here are all the trades. We've made 75 trades, and on this particular trade, we made $55. And it cost $458 to get into it, but we made $55. So we made about 10% on this trade. So let's look at this trade in more detail. So I click there, and down below here, here's our trade report card. So this trade card, this is the proof. You have the ticker symbol, the strategy, the spot price of the ticker symbol, and so you can get all of the information you need. And what my challenge is, if you to take a screenshot of this and then put that screenshot into your favorite AI engine and have it verify if this trade looks valid and if these numbers look good. Now, one of the user interface things that's interesting and something that we need to know if we're going to work in options is the actual structure of an options contract. So if I click here, I can see the details of the specific contract that we used for the spread. And these Greek values are the gold, and this is highly prized and it's mathematically challenging. This is great. This is beautiful. You should be hearing the angels singing now. So I have the ticker, it's a strike price when the contract expires, the underlying price and implied. So how we make money in the options market is if our strike price is close to or far from, how close or how far the strike price is from the price of the underlying. Here's the price of the stock on the market, and here's the contract price where we want to buy it for 150 and then immediately sell it for 157, or sell it for 150 and immediately buy it at 157. The second case is where we lose. So we go back here. So the spreads have their 4 legs to a condor. So there's 4 different contracts, and we have to have a closing leg for each one of the open legs. I'm not explaining today how an options market works, but we can discuss that another day. How does it work? We use Python to do the heavy lifting. It does everything. We have a daily pipeline that runs, and it consists of, don't fail me now, it consists of about 19 steps, but there's 10.5, 10.05, step 10, 10.05, 10.1, and 10.2. We're going to go through these briefly. We have to pull the data from the market. We go to Yahoo and we pull fresh options chain data every day, and then we move that data from the raw database into our operational database. We have to get the risk-free rate from the Federal Reserve to know what the bond rate is offered that day. We have to fetch the historical price information, Then we run the pipeline. We have to calculate the Greek values. We have to know all of these numbers for each contract. That's more processing power than your phone has. It just can't do it. We have to do the spot price. We do the market regime, the regime router. We do z-scores. It's a lot of cool stuff happens here, okay? But it's also very challenging for the little MacBook. After we do the volatility enrichment, alpha calculation, this is where the alpha runner, this is where the trading happens. To start our day of trading, we close the trades that are going to close the day. We take a record in a ledger, we mark to market, and then we open our trades, and then we're done for the day. So here is the pipeline log recently. So we start the process here with run Acropolis pipeline, and we give it the date to run the pipeline. We migrate the data from the staging data from the market into our database. We pulled 60,000 contracts on the 24th of February. 60,758, and it migrated 60,400 of those contracts. We tossed out some bad contracts, okay? We filtered out the ones that didn't have the implied volatility. We went and got the risk-free rate from the Federal Reserve, and we printed out the dates that we have the risk-free rates for. We have to get the historical contract information for each ticker we're following. Apple, 251 records. Amazon, 251 records. Caterpillar, GLD. So these are the 23 tickers that we're tracking. We then have to calculate the historical volatility. And it huffs and puffs and it runs through this. So now we're going to get to the good part, the run the daily pipeline. We have to calculate the Greek values. And the Greeks are these numbers. They're always less than 1. It's statistics. It's somewhere between 1 and -1. But what you see here, we have it for these dates on these contracts. So this is, again, much more than your phone or even a small machine can do. So we calculated the Greeks for 60,000 of these. We get the spot price for each of the 23 tickers that we were watching. Here is where we determine the market regime. This is some interesting mathematics, but what it's going to do, the market regime tells us what strategies we can use to put together the different options, the spreads. So that, are we going to use condors or some other way? So we have four contracts here, and then when we close them, we fill those other sides here. Trend, RSI, volatility signals. We need high-end data we need so that the system knows which trades to choose. So the regime router, it looks at the previously gathered information and makes a decision based on the constraints. Z prices help us choose better contracts to put into the packages. And you'll get this in your last year of undergraduate statistics. Mispricing Z fallback buckets, more statistics. Contract filters. Okay, so we have 3,800 contracts for SPY, 2,900 for QQQ, 860 for NVIDIA. And we filter out the ones that just aren't going to meet our standards. Okay, saves us trouble down the road. Feature store update, we're deep in the kitchen here. Candidate filter, we're back in the kitchen. All right, now the runner calls the appropriate detectors. This is the part that actually builds the spreads, okay? And this is where a lot of people make a lot of money and get lost with Excel spreadsheets. A lot of money is lost because you're doing this with a spreadsheet when the system should be doing it. So we built our condors. We've got 13,000 broken wing butterflies that day and 4,500 butterflies here. We've got 2,500 condors to choose from. So we're only trying to choose 4 or 5. So we're probably getting more candidates than we need, but this is great because we're only picking the top of the top here. We have to do some more high-end mathematics to get our 25,000 butterflies and stuff in order. We have to split the legs here. Each one of these contracts is considered a leg in the overall deal. More Z-score stuff. Inject night Greek, step 868, 8.7, 8.8. Okay, so when you find that there's a step missing, you put it in. Volatility enrichment. If we spent more time with volatility, we could boost our income. Many lectures on this one. Populate scored spreads. I'm putting it into another database table. More database. We have to snapshot the scored spreads because for troubleshooting, the weather filters, an underused feature. Cost calculator, how much is it going to cost to enter and exit the trades? Because we have a maximum cap. We have a daily max or a daily spend, $850, but each trade can cost no more than $250. So this is another constraint corner that we sort of built without being aware of it. Alpha calculation. Now this is important in options trading because it's telling us how much money these trades can make. What's the expected payout? I have 14,000 candidates where I can calculate the expected payout. Good stuff here. Nike enrichment. This is a machine learning module. Don't use it anymore. Now we get to close the trades that are already opened. And this order is significant. We have a start of day ledger. We see our balances. We have our mark to market, which is a little bit different from the ledger. It has a functionality we'll do in that. Our guardrails to make sure that we aren't having any losing trades or minimalized. And then we open the trades and it's doing some stuff now. It's really cool though, the magnet here. It's going to try to pull trades that we know perform well. So there's no bias on this run, but we do things like that. So we've got our status on some things, and we open some trades, and it's done. We've done the pipeline for the 24th, and what do we get if we run that consistently? Consistent returns. The machine turns itself on, goes to the market, runs the process, opens and closes the trades, and it's 100% hands-free. That's brilliant, beautiful. Have a nice day. Oh, I'm sorry. Where is it? Oh, where's my thing? My God, that's Acropolis.